save, and share recipes from your favorite foodie influencers. Save to collections, create free meal plans, and shop the ingredients you need with ease. On FoodSocial, we make it easy to find great recipes, get your ingredients, and connect with hundreds of trusted creators.
Hello and happy Wednesday, Michelle.
We made it to hump day.
Oh my gosh. Not only did we make it to hump day, we're pretty much 2 weeks out from Thanksgiving. I can't.
It is 2 weeks from Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah. I mean, the day before Thanksgiving is basically the day, right? Other than cooking the turkey, this is like
It is.
2 weeks.
And yes. And based on the conversation we had yesterday about doing things right now that you can do to help 2 weeks from now feel so much calmer. We're kind of, because we're doing it right now. It makes perfect sense to just share what we're doing because there are things we can do. There are some things that are hard. You have to wait till that day.
Yeah.
But let's not, make it harder than it has to be.
I keep passing my dining room going, oh, I need to clean. I need to get ready. I'm not going to.
Yeah. So on that vein of things that we're doing now and things that you can do, and we talked a little bit about stuffing yesterday because we were talking about stuffing the bird, not stuffing the bird. We moved away from stuffing the bird a long time ago. I never liked it growing up anyways. It was one I passed on no matter what. I just didn't like how soggy it was. It was just a weird steamed gummy kind of texture. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we moved away from stuffing the bird long ago for many reasons, because it's sometimes better bacteria-wise not to be in the bird.
Yep.
XYZ, all those things. Just Google it. You can still do whatever you want. But
You do, but we'll pass on that.
We're going to pass.
Yeah.
So when I say what we have been doing, the caveat is that what my son has been doing for us the last few years, and I think I shared yesterday that it's hard for me to let go of some things because it's like, get out of my way, I'll just do all of it. But because all of my kids enjoy cooking and are very good at it, I have allowed and let some things go. And stuffing is one of those things that I let go. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a hilarious side conversation to me because like you take such immense pride in how you've like taught your kids to cook and yet you're like, I guess I'll let them.
No, my son, as you know, I will let him. He is.
Yeah.
Well, I asked Drew to send me a picture so that if you want to share it, you can, of him in chef hat. So we have a guest today. It is my son, Madison.
Woo. Welcome back to the show, Madison. Hey.
He back in high school, our high school had a what would you call it? A
culinary Pro Start team?
It was called Pro Start. It's a culinary team. I don't know if they still have it at Provo High School. But back then, they competed and they had two teams that competed on a state level, right? And of the two teams, Madison's team won. And he was on a team with all girls, which is so fitting. He has all sisters. He's the only son. So all the girls just loved it. But they went to San Diego and competed on a national level.
Wait, they won the state?
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So let me see. Drew sent me a couple pictures. I will send these your way, Bill, if you want to.
Send them to me.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do this while I'm on. I'm live and also can I do this? Let's see. Oh, I think I can. Let's see. Anyways, all that to say, he kind of knows his way around food.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, he does. He does.
I mean, the last time Madison was on the show, we talked about some pretty pretty high level stuff. We still need to have you back on the show to make steak with us too, but
Yes, we'll have to do that after Thanksgiving because
Yeah.
at this point, steak can kind of take a side. So, anyways,
wait.
yes. Okay, I sent them to you. Hopefully,
Okay.
if you want or can share them, cool. But
Okay. I see him on my.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, we'll be there in 1 second. I've got him. Okay.
he was just a bibby back then. That was 2008.
I was 17.
17.
Oh.
That's 18 years ago.
Let's not talk about it.
He is 34. So he is. It's been a few years since high school. Anyways, enough history about Madison and everything. But we're here to talk about stuffing because I actually decided I really like stuffing this way versus the other way, and we cook it separate. And Madison took it to a next level. And so there we go. Look at that baby face.
I
There was no face.
I love it.
Yeah. He made lamb
Lamb roulade,
roulade.
ceviche, homemade churros with the homemade whipped cream.
Yeah. A whole menu. This team of 3 girls in Madison. It was a timed competition. It was intense. It was intense.
Awesome.
Yeah. But it was a lot.
Had that. I wasn't really into cooking then, but like I was in the kitchen and doing stuff, and
Yeah.
I did sufficiently
Yeah.
well in home ec, but
Yeah, it was a great high school thing. It was a different for high school kind of thing. You have ballroom dance, you have all the sports and all this. And this was, I think, because of the teacher that was there at the time.
Well, I wasn't doing sports because I was too small to do sports.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
I knew my limits and I knew where I could excel.
I'm right there with you. I just ran track, but
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, he's grown a little since then, obviously.
yeah,
But still food is his sport of choice, I would say.
absolutely.
Aside from being outside and hiking and rafting and all that stuff, being a river rat. Topic for another day.
Yeah.
So we have this stuffing. I'm going to get out of the way and let Madison we've got an overhead camera. We started using this recipe 6 years ago.
Probably.
Yeah. It's from a Bon Appetit video by Carla Music. Isn't that her last name? Carla Music, a former Bon Appetit alum. She is now her own thing. There we go. So it's a great video to watch, but I'm going to let I'm going to step out of the way and let him kind of demonstrate how we prep the bread and why we do it now versus it's just something we can check off the list. And it's great. And I love that she's just going at it. So I'm going to let him step in and then okay, the camera. Tilt the camera up.
It's fine. Make it work. Let's see. There we go.
There we go. I'll still just be here on the side. It's backwards. Yeah,
Okay.
There we go.
It's funny. I don't actually remember eating stuffing during Thanksgiving growing up because we just didn't have it.
Yeah, I just didn't. It wasn't what I liked. Yeah.
And so I never really understood why people wanted stuffing at Thanksgiving until I discovered this recipe. Oh, way better.
Okay, now he's got a seat. There we go.
And now that once I saw the recipe, because there was a time where I was just all my YouTube algorithm was just giving me food videos because I love watching people cook food. And then I saw this video, and it just is it's so simple and it's so straight down the pipe of what you want out of a stuffing that I was like, hey, I could do this. This is really easy and doable. And so. It's a Victoria Granoff recipe. So Carla makes Victoria's recipe. And in the video, they just talk about how it is just a straight down the pipe stuffing recipe. This is what you want out of a Thanksgiving stuffing. And so the idea is you take the bread and rather than cubing it, because alternatively you could just go through and chop it up and just make cubes out of it. You actually go through and do it by hand and just rip it and tear it into shreds, about this big or so. And you just do that to the entire loaf because the kind of lack of uniformity in the bits gives you some good variety when you're making this. It's soaking up, because essentially what you're doing with the stuffing is you're making kind of like a bread pudding, like a savory bread pudding, and then you're baking it. And so the lack of uniformity in all these bits gives you pieces that are going to be really crunchy, some that are going to be a little bit more tender, savory, and gives you a nice variety.
Yeah.
And it's more rustic, and it lends itself more to that kind of Thanksgiving feeling. So you're not like, oh, I'm at a hotel restaurant and everything is just kind of off of the line, because it feels more like, oh, this is this is a job you could give a kid to do, right? Where you're just like, hey, rip up this bread, like I'm doing right now because I'm a 34-year-old kid right now.
He's my kid. He's my 34-year-old.
And you do this ahead of time, and what you could do is you like, obviously this bread is still spongy and lively and stuff, but you could either do this way ahead of time like we do, and then let it just dry, because you don't want croutons per se, but you want like dry breadcrumbs. Or if you're doing it day of, you can put it in the oven at a low temp, like 250 for like an hour, just to dry out, and that will give you that kind of dried up.
And I think what we do from here is I stick it on a baking tray and just put it in a cold oven, leave it overnight, and let it dry. It's a kind of a dust-free environment. And then when it's dry, I just put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm done with that much of prep for Thanksgiving, and check it off the list. Just check that one thing off, which is what we're here doing 2 weeks ahead of time, because it is something you can get done ahead of time.
Yeah, if you're making croutons, you'd want to like cover this with some olive oil and
Sure.
Give it a good bake. But with the stuffing recipe, you're adding plenty of fat later, so you don't need to do that. We're just really just looking to dry these guys out. And then of course you're making the bread pudding, which is going to be like a lot of butter, we make turkey stock from like the turkey stuff. So like we're using like a homemade turkey stock to kind of like rehydrate the bread and to make that kind of bread pudding.
Yeah.
And do we do it the day of?
Yeah,
we do. So
it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It only takes I've timed it out. It takes like probably 40 minutes from like starting to cut all the herbs up to like taking it off and putting it all in the bowl together to be put into the oven. Okay. So like it's pretty easy, straightforward thing. Like this, that's why I like it. I like recipes that are simple, where you're not doing a whole lot to the ingredients. You're just kind of letting the ingredients shine. And that's what I really like about this recipe. And it's pretty no nonsense. You're just adding a lot of butter with a lot of onions and celery and a lot of herbs to the
Yeah. I bet it smells so good when you're making it too.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we add rosemary,
thyme, sage, parsley is what is
like the song.
Yeah.
Parsley, sage, rosemary,
and then it's a celery, onion. It's not a full mirepoix, because a mirepoix is carrots as well, right? And so it's not a full mirepoix. And so it's I want to say I actually throw garlic in. I don't know if the recipe calls for garlic in that initial saute of the celery and the onions, but like, why not add the garlic? You know what I mean? I know. And you're also not trying to like fry them down and get them brown. You're just like sweating them out and getting them tender.
Yeah, it's just to soften them up, right? And then we pour that over the bread, and then you whip up the eggs separate and then throw the eggs in?
So you're taking the bread. Imagine this is all crispy, whatever, or in like a ball. And then what you do is you take that butter celery onion mixture, and pour it over the top of it, and you just give it a gentle toss, because you don't want to, once these are crispy, you don't want these to break down into like dust. So you're just giving it a gentle toss. And then from there, you're like adding chicken stock to it, or turkey stock, whatever, just to kind of rehydrate the bread. Yeah. And then once it's kind of like reached, and in the video she goes through this, there is kind of like an optimum texture that you're going for, so that it's not either too dry or too oversaturated. Once you've kind of reached that, on the side, you will whisk up like turkey stock with a couple of eggs, or egg yolks, in just to kind of make this custardy base. And then you add that back over everything again. And then you get in there with your hands and you kind of mix it up and help it get saturated. And then you throw it in the oven.
We throw it in a big baking dish, right?
Yeah, it's like an 8x11.
Yeah.
8x12.
And this recipe, it's about a pound of bread, if I remember correctly. So depending on the crowd, you know.
Get you back in here.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of what we're doing ahead of time now, because we can dry this out, put it in a bag, and just be ready, checking that off. And then obviously we go from there on the day of. And sorry, I'm turning my sound off on my phone. I can hear a playback little
You
bit.
do all that baking the day before.
Yeah, could we?
You could, yeah. So
Yeah.
you can do the baking the day before, because there's really 2 stages to the baking. There's the initial where you're like putting it in the oven and getting it to like set and become the bread pudding stuffing thing that it is.
Yeah.
And then there's the back half, which is you're trying to get it browned and crispy on the top.
Mm.
And so the initial, you're baking it with like covered in tin foil. And so you could definitely do that the day before and put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then, as you are like blasting your turkey, you could take the turkey out and your oven's still really, really hot. And then you can take the foil off, put it in there, and just get it really brown and crispy on the top. And so you could bake this 2 or 3 days in advance if you really needed to.
Yeah. And the texture is amazing just because of all the craggy edges.
Yeah, I pulled up the video again because I kind of wanted to see what it looks like at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. So this is just a great thing to check off your list and maybe something new to try,
Yeah. I love this because in the game of preparing Thanksgiving, lots of little incremental improvements like that, like things that the little things that you can do ahead of time really add up. And this is one of those where, okay, like if all we have to do is the second bake of the stuffing the day of, it frees up your oven, that frees up your bandwidth. It's just, I love the strategy behind that too. And I think, Madison, I think you're totally right. The texture of this, like we typically will do like cubed bread, and like it's fine, but
it is, yeah.
It would give a different texture and overall presentation. And I think that's really, really cool. I love what I'm seeing in the video here.
Yeah. Plus you could cut the onions and celery and everything ahead of time too. Like get that, get that done on Monday ahead of Thanksgiving, put it in a baggie marked stuffing, put it in the fridge so it's ready to go. And so then you're like done.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about batch size, like that loaf that you just did. What do you think the general output is for that size loaf? Is that enough for like 6 people?
Easily. Yeah.
It depends on how much you like stuffing.
Yeah. I was going to say it bakes in like a large baking pan. It's probably 13 by 9-ish. It's a pretty deep dish pan. So it depends on, how big your pan is, but we're going to have a dozen people here on Thanksgiving. And I think we won't do more than one.
Yeah, we probably won't do more than one.
Yeah, because again, this is what we talked about yesterday, talking about all the sides you're going to have. If you're going to only have this and green beans, maybe you do need more stuffing, but most people have green beans and other side dishes. So, depending on if you have 4 to 5 side dishes, maybe just make one stuffing. If not, stuffing's great as leftovers too. And you can use it to make some really tasty things after, which we'll talk about on another show next week.
I think stuffing it's one of my favorite leftovers to have. I mean, obviously turkey, and then you got to have like some gravy. Over too, but stuffing is top 3, top 4, like necessary leftovers.
Absolutely. So you could even do 2 and hold one back in case you eat through all the stuffing that you prepared, and then you have a second for yourself.
It's a great. So cool. Well, Madison, thanks for sharing that with us today. I think it's just so nice to be thinking about all of this right now. My tendency is to get up closer to the day and then panic.
Well, we're all used to that, right? I think we've trained our brains to be in panic mode, but the last couple of years have just felt the need to make it easier on my headspace. And this is one of the things that helps. So.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're not doing a show tomorrow, but Friday we'll be back for Friday Faves. Is that right?
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm sure we can talk about something. Get Allie on here. We'll talk about it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching today. Tune in on Friday and we'll be talking about our favorite brands on our marketplace. And then next week, it's going to be Thanksgiving Prep Central. We have you covered.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We've got some fun topics planned. So be sure to tune in.
All right. And thanks, Madison, for joining us today. We hope you'll come back after Thanksgiving. We'll
Absolutely.
do some steak.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.